And welcome back to Janky AF and Year of the Aerostar, episode number 108. Well, we come to you on a cold, wintry, wet, rainy day here in upstate New York. But what better time than to go on a luxurious vacation to the great country of France? And I'm bearing, or what's the opposite of bearing the lead? I don't know. But I'm giving away a little bit of information about this episode. I am wearing on all black with the winter hat, New York City or France, very stylish outfit there. And obviously those two countries, share some things in common. The Statue of Liberty, France and the US both make very good basketball players. And the French also make very weird salad dressing, which I suppose maybe we Americans do too. I guess that would be ranch here in America. Already way off the beaten trail here. So I suppose we should talk about the beautiful subject of the day. So without further ado, here we have a beautiful 1990 Ford Aerostar US van V6 Custom. Listed in Avignon. I know this, Avignon, but it's Avignon, France. Something like that. I don't feel bad, for whatever reason, I don't feel bad about butchering French, maybe because I already did some Canadian Aerostars in our little residency over there. And whatever it is about the US-French rivalry, there's just some sort of, playful teasing that goes on. So anywho, obviously one feather in France's cap is that they have Ford Aerostars. And I believe they may have even been sold natively in France, if I remember correctly, according to the Quirky Garage 1999, who has been a wonderful beacon of information. And perhaps I have already forgotten again what they said, but if so, I apologize. I believe they may have been sold natively in France. However, this is a US van V6 Custom, so perhaps it was an American van that was imported at some point, being sold by Raymond. And let's talk about it, shall we? Listed, I should say, for 10,000 euros, which equals, as I have done my homework, $10,579.50. So obviously the euro, when I was in Germany, a million years ago, I believe €1 was like $1.79 or something like that. So obviously it's leveled out a little bit. And so, the euro to dollar equation, not that difficult to do in your head anymore. You just add on a little bit. Obviously over $10,000, quite, an expensive Aerostar by today's standards. But with only 93,000 kilometers on the odometer, which translates to 57,787 miles. So a very low mileage Ford Aerostar, being a 1990, certainly, fairly early in the run of Aerostars, still with the original pre-facelift interior and in a stunning shade of black over gold. And I couldn't tell if this was navy blue or black, but it does, as we'll get to, say that it is black, and it certainly does look like it, with some wonderful black wheels here. And unfortunately, I do appreciate the very artsy nature of this photo with this sort of urban plantscape, sort of the flora growing up and, rising in front of the Aerostar. However, it does obstruct my view of the wheels a little bit, which is too bad. I'll try to brighten my screen there a little bit. We'll see if that works, does anything. Black over gold, fantastic color scheme. I really, really like it. We've seen a number of black Aerostars, certainly a rare color, and certainly one that I believe is very, very striking on a Ford Aerostar. I'm not sure that we've seen a black over gold yet. I could be wrong about that. But, and then with these little inserts here on the bumper, just giving it an extra little, sort of contrast and edge. And it looks like we do have some sort of, maybe a sort of a copper or red pinstriping there that's faded a little bit, or it could just be a continuation of the gold. Either way, looks very, very striking, very, very stunning. And I like, because in 1990, of course, you had your more modernized grille, but with your Ford logo still in the center. And it looks like Now, a lot of these, the grille was dark gray anyways, but this almost looks like the grille has been painted black. Of course, all your chrome surrounds on your grille and headlight bezels are still chrome. They would look pretty cool in black, and I think there were some black sport models out there, but certainly that would be, you know, quite a rare unicorn Ford Aerostar. But I like the chrome with the black grille. Just adds that subtle little additional accent of your body color into some of the, you know, bits and baubles on the Aerostar. Very, very striking aesthetically. Not a ton of pictures, unfortunately, but obviously we'll go ahead and butcher some French, and then we'll look over the remaining pictures. So, critères, which is criteria, I would imagine. Marque, auteur, modèle, auteur. I don't know what that means, but I don't know why it's the same. Année modèle, 1990. Année, like anniversary, year, so I get that. Date des premières mises en circulation, 1990. Now that's pretty cool. This must be the date of manufacture, I'm guessing, which you know, maybe that's a French thing. They actually put that in there. Kilométrage, 93,000. Carburant, essence. Now I have to give a little shout out here. I know what essence means because of the wonderful card game Milborn, which I'm sure is not how you pronounce it in French. I understand that, but we always called it Milborn. And this is a driving card game. And we had a really old, I don't know where my parents got this, but we had a really old example of this game. And it's a really fun game where you add up mileage, and there's stop signs and, you know, crashed vehicles and flat tires, crève, and just a fantastic game. A shout out to Milborn. But one of the cards was, there's these 4 special cards you can get, and they're sort of like cheat code cards where you have a fuel truck, you have an impenetrable, which would now be known as a run flat tire, so that was kind of funny. And then you have the essence, which apparently means you just have unlimited gas. So I remember the essence card, as we can see in this picture here, and that would be, you know, well, that's actually not even the special card. That's just when you refuel and you can go again. You're not out of gas again. You can put, you know, if you're the opponent, you can put out of gas on other people's cards. And so I know that essence means gasoline because of this wonderful, wonderful card game. So anyways, neither here nor there, but a fun little, you know, French connection, if you will. Boîtier de vitesse automatique. Obviously, that's transmission. Type de véhicule, monospace. I don't know what monospace, maybe that means minivan. I guess that means minivan. Couleur, noir. We all know what noir means because of, you know, the cinema, cinema noir, and that means black. Nombre de potesses, 4, I think is 4, right? 4, 5, 7, I don't know. Nombre de places, 7 ou plus, I think that means 7 or more. So 4 doors, seating for at least 7. Puissance fiscale, 14 CV, I don't know what that means. Puissance din 150. Maybe that's horsepower. Permis, avec permis. I know avec means with. I'm not sure why I know that, but so it sounds like a permis, I'm guessing papers or registration. It comes with a registration or inspection, something like that. Critère, 3. I don't know what that means. And the description. Vendre ou exchange conseil citadin, véhicule français. French vehicle. Beau coupe, does that mean beautiful? Des pièces neuves. New pieces, I guess. Neus, disquette, discs. Plaquette, flexible, maître cylinder. Maybe that's master cylinder. I basically speak French, you know, or can read it. Lingue d'échappement, demeure, alternator, rotules de direction. Something about rotating direction. Times 4, so 4, maybe new tires. Remplement, lieu, bivitesse. Le moteur plus pont avec toutes les filtres et what's 1, 2, I don't know what 3 is. Yes, etc. I guess etc. Maybe that is French. I don't know. Exchange comptoir Ford, Opel, GMC, Toyota, Mazda, Peugeot, BMW, Nissan, Renault, Citroën, Combi, Transporter, Astro, Suburb Van, Voyager, Delica, VW, Chrysler, Dodge, GM. Now I have, you know, in recent episodes actually gone ahead and done the Google translation so we can read that. For sale or exchange for city car, French vehicle. Okay, maybe it wasn't a native French vehicle. Many new parts, tires, discs, and how cool would that be to import a French-sold Ford Aerostar? That would be very, very cool to have an Aerostar that was bought and sold new in France. That would be very cool for the collection. And I do not have a 1990. I also do not have 10,000 euros plus shipping costs. Many new parts: tires, discs, pads, hoses, master cylinder, exhaust line, starter, alternator, steering, ball joints ×4. Okay, those were ball joints. Oil replacement, something speed, plus engine. I don't know what that means. Oh, engine oil probably. Rear axle with all filters 3 days ago. Wow, exchange for... So it seems like they want to trade this, this vehicle. Maybe I could ship over my 1995 Buick LeSabre and trade them straight up, for another American car, although that was not sold new in France. To the best of my knowledge, I believe it was sold in New Jersey. Okay, voir les photos. Voir, like a voyeur, I guess. Let's voyeuristically look at some Aerostar photos here. Of course, we have the main shot. Again, I wish there were more pictures, but because this is such a stunning vehicle. Now, it does look like we have a little bit of clear coat fade here. I wonder if this was repainted. It almost looks like chalky, like it's been painted with some like flat black paint. It doesn't look like the normal clear coat fade where it kind of like peels off, but it could be. It could be. Now they have a great cell phone screen grab, and we can sort of, speaking of voyeurs, we can snoop on their other tabs here. It looks like they're looking up Ford Aerostars. And there's some Russian language there, which they probably clicked on this one for sale in Russia, because there's a Russian Ford Aerostar. And strangely, I haven't been able to find this listing, although this vehicle was posted a while ago. I want to find a Russian Aerostar because I know they're out there for sale, and do one there for our little global residency here. 25,673 euro. Boy, that's a lot of money for a Ford Aerostar. Actually, I may have even done this Ford Aerostar before, because I remember there was one that was really, really nice. But I can't remember if I did an episode on it or not. And then you have one in the United States for 2,700 euro. So maybe that's shooting themselves in the foot there by showing that price. But here we have another one in the States for 13,000 euro. This looks like it's been all decked out as a camper van. So, I don't like to comment too much on the prices that people have. Certainly for 57,000 miles, very low mileage, and it looks like it's had a ton of work done to it. So maybe you can command 10,000 euro for, a classic American vehicle, which is obviously very practical. And in this last picture, which will be the thumbnail for sure, I mean, this just looks like wonderful. You see this beautiful sort of French European landscape with this big camper van in the background, and this very like bubbly European looking trailer thing, your French license plate, and it just has this beautiful stance out in the countryside somewhere with these, puttied or stone buildings with these, everything looks very French and European. And I think the Aerostar fits right in. I mean, you have a little well with beautiful foliage growing on it. Very picturesque. Now, it really does look very like a flat black here. And what's interesting is on your sort of line that runs all the way down sort of the midsection of the vehicle, and then this beautiful sweeping curve onto your front fender quarter panel there, it almost looks like there's a pretty delineated line between where the flat and the shiny paint goes. And that looks like, to me, it's not a very high resolution photo, unfortunately, but it does look like perhaps there has been some paint work done to it. I don't know, just a guess. But obviously the standard length Aerostar with its nice squat stance looks very nice. And it does look, and the other picture shows a little bit better, but it almost looks like this vehicle is on either wheel spacers or just the rims, the offset of the wheels themselves are jutting out enough that it's created this really wide sort of stance that I quite like. I'm not a huge fan of wheel spacers because I'm sort of a practicality, form over or function over form, I suppose you could say. That's kind of the Janky ethos. Not that I'm plenty guilty of making superfluous aesthetic modifications to vehicles. However, wheel spacers in general, I feel like, are probably not great for the internal suspension components of the vehicle and, the wear and tear on those. However, it's hard to argue with the fact that it looks very good with this little, bit of a wide, aggressive stance. Again, I wish I could see what these wheels are, but the black with the silver rings around them, a very nice look, because that chrome on the silver rings, of course, perfectly accents your sort of grille surround and headlight bezels. So just really completes the look and looks really, really stunning here in this landscape. These earlier Aerostars I've noticed, and my 86 I think had some front end damage at one point, I believe, because the grill on it was not, it was a later model grill. I then found one on eBay and put the original style back to it, the 5-spoke grill. But it's funny to look at these. The fit and finish on these early Aerostars in particular just was not good. They never looked quite straight from the dead ahead front on shot. However, I will say, if you go look at a lot of Ferraris, even going up to the late 80s, Ferraris and Lamborghinis, then going back to the 60s and 70s, they never sit perfectly square. You know, a lot of those vehicles were, you know, handmade or semi-handmade, and there's just a little bit of variation in them sometimes. So I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think it gives the vehicle character, and it looks like something that was, you know, created at least partially by humans and not totally, you know, by robots and machines and stuff like that. So I never mind that, but it does look like we have a little bit of just, you know, and out here it's you can even see the shadow line or the highlight line. It kind of dips down here and dips up a little bit there. Part of that's just the light. They have a blacked out license plate. Although I love when they censor out one license plate, but then in the other picture they don't. So we could probably discern the license plate. And this line here goes all the way around the front, and then the black paint dips up into this little like sort of air intake here, this little scoop in your bumper. And I really do like the black. A lot of these earlier Aerostars, even my 93 Sport has, you know, sort of a two-tone bumper with this little black stripe running across it. And I do think it looks nice. It gives that just that little bit of accent. Now, more so on this because this accent stripe matches the body color. On mine, it's a little out of place with the Cayman green metallic everywhere else, but I kind of like it. It just adds a nice little, you know, a nice little extra piece of flair to it, shall we say. So, I mean, a gorgeous Aerostar. I wish there was interior pictures. Looks like we have some like plaid seat covers going on here. I'm sure that it's, you know, the original pre-facelift interior being 1990. I believe that switched over in 92. I just saw an Aerostar on an auction website that was a 92. It had the modern interior or facelifted interior, but then it still had the digital gauge cluster, which I think was maybe only even 92. Maybe they still offered it in 93. I think some people have told me they offered it even later than that, but that's certainly a rare thing. So who knows? This may even have a digital gauge cluster, because I know in the pre-facelift interiors they had even, I think they were even more common in the pre-facelift interiors to get the digital dash, especially when you get into 89, 90, 91. I think 86 up until 90 say they were a little bit more rare. And it was something of an upgrade. We don't know if it has a trip computer, any of those fancy gadgets up there. Do have a nice little like factory tint line on your windshield. I do like that. I think that's missing in modern vehicles. It was a really cool touch to just put that tint line in there for when the sun's coming in, kind of acts as a sunshade. But just to see an Aerostar in a foreign landscape, in a European landscape, is always very novel and very, it's quite a treat for me. So I really like that. Again, with the limited pictures, there's only so much we can sort of, you know, again, voyeuristically look at. I do like that. Even the black license plate looks really nice on there. But certainly a stunning Aerostar that was either sold in France or, you know, made its way there. But again, 1990, only 57,000 miles. Like, really incredible that this thing is just an absolute survivor. It doesn't look to be a speck of rust on it. Really, really cool. Here we can see Avignon, the region in France that we're in. So if we zoom out a little bit, just for all you, you know, not quite the southern coast of France here, not quite the Riviera, but there it is. So if anyone's out there, yeah, definitely south though. You know, if you're in Switzerland, not too far away, even Italy wouldn't be too far away to get it. And maybe you want to drive it all the way to Paris and have a little French road trip in your Ford Aerostar. Get a little Statue of Liberty figurine and pop it on the dashboard and, you know, liberté and démocratie, as they say. Some more random vehicles for sale here. So I guess this will be, you know, somewhat of a short one, but I saw it pop up and I had to do a little episode on it. Just a stunning 1990 Ford Aerostar with 57,000 miles. The V6, I'm assuming it's the 3.0, probably a good bet on that. And it's sitting out the side somewhere there in the French countryside. So get yourself a bottle of wine and, you know, don't drink and drive obviously, but after you've, you know, gotten to your destination, climb in the back of the Aerostar, have a little picnic with your significant other and, you know, see where the night takes you. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it on that note. Thank you so much for joining us here on another year of year of the Aerostar. Believe it or not, we're marching towards 700 subscribers with our linguistical faux pas and all. And can't wait to hit that mark. Always backed up here on Janky AF. Always got so much stuff in the works that we are, bottlenecked because of, life's other obligations. But we're working on more beautiful Aerostar. I hate to say the word content, but I suppose that's what it is for you all. And I'll be in touch with some of you. Thank you again for the comments and all your wonderful Aerostar knowledge that you help bring to this channel and to this program. I think it's a real community effort. Someone just, I believe it was maybe Parker with the Pamela Vanderson saying that there should be an Aerostar meetup. I guess I'll write a comment, but I'll address this now. I have the idea for the perfect Aerostar meetup, and I want it to be a joint car show slash like musical concert, like a festival almost, and I would call it Aligning of the Stars. And I think that's just a wonderful name, because it would be both sort of Aligning of the Stars, obviously, is when everything sort of all comes together, and that's exactly what happened with the Ford Aerostar. Everything came together, it was the complete package. It's the total vehicle that can do anything for you, whether it's work or leisure. And then obviously the more literal interpretation is aligning of the stars. So all the Ford Aerostars coming out and aligning together and grouping in one beautiful event. So perhaps one day we'll have the Aligning of the Stars festivals. I know quite a few musicians. I could probably goad into maybe putting on some performances. I dabble in musical expression somewhat myself. So one day the stars will align, I promise you. But until then, it's a good idea to start gathering steam. And if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comments on what you would like to see in a potential Ford Aerostar themed music festival slash car show generally. Obviously, Chevy Astros and any other vehicle for that matter would be welcome. But I think Aerostar owners obviously would get free admission to the festival, right? That would be your sort of like little ticket to the ride. So there you have it, a little random Aerostar rambling for you here on episode 108 of Year of the Aerostar. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll have another one for you very soon. And until then, Janky do Thanky.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.